you would report the crime to is the cover team, is the screeners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that actually in one of the interrogation sessions, I guess, or the interview that you posted to the PTJ and Jam. You giving the information to the investigators, and they didn't want it.
And you know what they did? I filed a 91A, Freedom of Information Act. Now, you're supposed to be able to hold on to the paperwork unless it's investigated. I knew that they were only on an information hunt, so how I proved it is, within 48 hours, I turned in the 91A, and they gave me the tape, meaning they had no intention of investigating. Think about this. Bedford, New Hampshire is the wealthiest town in New Hampshire. It's also where all these drug dealers live. The police department, the Bedford Police Department, the chief is a guy named Bryansky. If you go back, Bryansky was in charge of the DEA in the Delaware, Pennsylvania area of over 300 agents. He turns around and pops up in a small town in New Hampshire. The next year, they build a DEA office right next door. And as soon as they do this, heroin spikes a record high in the state. Mm-hmm. You see? It was a protection at the very highest level.
I think it was like a month ago or 6 weeks ago, I watched a video where, you were bringing all of the evidence to the FBI office and you were filming it. And you finally, they weren't answering the door for you. And then
3 different times they wouldn't open the door. And believe me, I stood out there. One time I brought a lawn chair and sat across the door. And the place was full of people. No one would leave.
Yeah, no one would open the door. And then, so you finally scheduled an appointment, and I think you were able to deliver.
Oh, I didn't schedule one. I just went there, and that door opened finally. Oh, no, you never tell them you're coming. They'd all leave. You know that fire drill we were planning? It's now. Gill's coming.
Yeah. So, what have you gotten any kind of response or anything back?
Oh, they're covering. They're local cops. In fact, the last video I did a few days ago was me on the phone, not recording them, talking to Mark Hassenbecker of the FBI and the assistant U.S. attorney, man, I hate this, Caselli. Mm-hmm. So I'm going, hey, what's going on, guys? They don't want to use the word investigate. I go, did you hear about that tape? Planning to murder me? It looks like
they don't want to give you a case number either for an official investigation.
That's right, see? They can't say they're investigating. You know why? Because if they're investigating, they have all the evidence to arrest everybody, and they don't want to arrest everybody. So they're in a situation. I don't care what you want to call it. You're saying reviewed, watch, listen, going over. I go, is there a problem with the word investigate? Let's put it this way. Federal Bureau of what again? Mm-hmm. That's what you guys do. So this is how guilty they are. They won't say the word investigate.
Mm-hmm. Well,
in fact, you can't find a politician in this state that will tell you there's not corruption, and you can't find one that will tell you that there is.
Yeah, and I want to encourage everybody to go to Micheal Gill's reality YouTube series, which is called State of Corruption. Excuse me.
.org.
.org. And he's got everything documented. And
I have 400 videos. 400. I even go through the offer, the $400 million, and put it all out there. With the names. You know who's on there for releases? Bill Shaheen, Alex Walker, the IRS, the Department of Revenue Administration, the banking department. Now listen, I just called the banking department drug launderers. Why do they want to release from me? Unless they are.
And you actually
no one pays you $50 million for being wrong.
Yeah, and you actually have, oh, I just forgot what I was going to say.
All these offers I have signed.
Yeah.
So they signed the offers. The only thing that I kept refusing was releases. Mm-hmm. For me to let them go is no, knowing what they're doing, I just couldn't do it. So the thing in here that broke the string was they couldn't believe someone said no. But you know what? I've been successful my whole life. Now we're in type shape right now. They've attached everything. And you know something? I couldn't be happier. I'm telling you.
Well, you have a purpose.
This is how you have to fight them.
You have this huge fight. You have a purpose, and you're a trailblazer, Michael. You're blazing away for a trail, a new trail for others to follow, because we need to have a government for the people, by the people, and I am just in such awe, and I am a huge fan of your work. And we've been updating the people in the porthole to justice on your progress, and you've endured so much. I'm just I can't believe it. Unless you actually go to the state of corruption and you look at this evidence and you see what Micheal Gill has been through. I mean, just to hear it's it's pretty incredible.
You know what? I lived it, and it feels like I'm living a movie. I've never even seen a movie like this. I mean, you know what I say to myself before I go to bed? I go, can I live long enough to see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I think on the Zeph report, I was tuning into the Zeph report with Zeph Daniels and Patricia Daniels, and they were talking to who I want to introduce you to, by the way, Buddy Wayne Webb, and you can check that out on the Porthole to Justice Spreaker. You can tune into his story. But they were saying, any wealthy investors or movie producers, filmmakers, we've got some really juicy content for you here.
I'm telling you, I think this is a series.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you're spot on. Well, listen, I usually do about 45 minutes. Let's see, we've got about 5 more minutes. Is there anything you'd like to say or let people know where to go to view your content?
Well, stateofcorruption.org, and we have an index there. You can go through all these videos. But I want people to know what I'm doing now, and please follow me. As I go to Washington, as I confront these judges, those views, those comments, those likes are putting I'm going to tell you, our favorite customers are the corrupt. Every time they see those numbers, they get nervous, and we're getting closer. This is what I'd like to say to everybody. Please do not let politics, religion, and race separate us. It is the tool of the corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
If we're fighting amongst ourselves, we're not fighting them.
Amen.
We are all victims. Black Lives Matters, you're damn right.
Yeah, well, it's a war
corruption.
It's a war on poverty. It's a war on the people that are of lesser means, and it does not discriminate. As Zeph says, they're no respect.
We are all green to them.
Yeah.
We've got to remember, and they're the ones. If there's a troll that I catch, it's always that one who's picking a race fight, who's turning around and calling politics. Listen, let's solve a crime here.
Absolutely.
People have been used to saying, I know it's corrupt, but what you're going to do. The corrupt's greatest weapon is to make us think we're beat before we get into the fight.
Absolutely.
And one last thing. If you think it's going to get better, it won't.
Mm-mm.
The one thing that I've seen about the corrupt, which is why it made it so easy to catch, they're openly doing this. It's not that hard to catch them.
No, they're openly doing it, and the bar is complicit. The clerks at the courts houses,
absolutely,
they're complicit. The media is complicit, and it's up to us, we the people. So comment and like and participate, folks. We need you in this fight, everybody. Oh my gosh, Micheal Gill, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everything that you're doing. You're amazing.
Thank you. And I'm going to talk to Anonymous and Allegis to try to combine forces with us. And the last thing I'm saying, if you think that the kind of greed that we deal in the corruption, listen, the people who sell your children drugs, who imprison your children and have the guards sell you drugs, if you're looking for a line of morality, you will not find it. The thing here is, it'll get worse, just like it's been worse now, which is bringing up our numbers. Now we've got to fight a Goliath. Yeah. If we don't fight a Goliath, every year that goes by, it gets bigger and it's harder. And we're turning over this to our children who aren't prepared to fight this.
Yeah, and they don't have the tools, or they're not being given the tools. Well, Micheal, you are one of the modern day gladiators, and I so appreciate you coming on to the Porthole to Justice. Thank you.
Anytime you want me on, I'm on.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to take you up on that for sure. Okay.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The hard thing with me is to get me to shut up. Don't worry about me coming on.
So we can find your content on YouTube, and that is The State of Corruption.
Facebook also.
And Facebook, join him on Facebook. You can join him. You're on, where are you also? Are you on Twitter?
We are now.
Okay. And the stateofcorruption.org website. And we need people hollering and getting louder, folks, because this stuff is coming out, and it's coming out in a big way. Micheal Gill, thank you so much. This has been another episode of Porthole to Justice, Off the Cuff.
Come on to my house, come on up. Come on to my house, come on up. Come on to my house, mga house. Anatani agi masaya hindi ko budoni natsumini keki. Come on to my house, come on up. Come on to my house, come on up. Uchi o yudaya watachi no huichi. Anatani agi masho candy. Uchi o yudaya watachi no huichi. Nandemo kandemo agi masho. I was on the Japanese hit parade for about 6 months consecutively. And as a result, they asked me to do a tour of Japan, which I did with my daughter for about 3 or 4 months. And I met an entertainer who translated Rosemary Clooney songs and Eartha Kitt songs into Japanese. But no matter what she sang, it was Uchiya yo yudaya watachi no huichi anata ni akimashou candy. Uchiya yo yudaya watachi no huichi anata ni akimashou ringo ni sumamane hanso inga kawa. Come on to my house, come on up. Come on to my house, come on up. Come on to my house, mga house. Anata ni akimashou yakini ko budo ni natsumini keki. Come on to my house, come on up. Come on to my house, come on up. Uchiya yo yudaya watachi no huichi anata ni akimashou candy. Uchiya yo yudaya watachi no huichi. Nandemo kandemo akimashou. Nandemo kandemo akimashou. Well, doesn't that sound like Eartha Kitt?